Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over step by step how to do an oil change on this 392 Rubicon. What you're going to need before you get started is 6.6 quarts of 0W40. You're going to need a new oil filter. The drain plug on this Jeep is a 13 millimeter. You need a funnel to not make a mess, and an oil pan to catch all your old oil. To get started, we need to position our oil pan and loosen our drain plug. Before we can find our drain plug, we need to find our oil pan, and it's located right here behind the front axle with this pattern on it. The plug itself is a 13 millimeter socket. Go ahead and crack it loose. And I like to use my socket to spin it up and hold pressure on the drain plug up to keep the oil from spilling until you're ready. Now that our oil has finished draining, we can go ahead and throw our drain plug back in. The torque spec for this drain plug is 25 foot-pounds. Now we can move up to the front with our oil pan and change the oil filter. The oil filter is located on the passenger side of the engine block, right above the axle. It's located right here. You should be able to loosen this with your hands. If not, I'll show you some tools that can help. I have a couple options. I can use an oil filter wrench, which goes around the oil filter like this, and as you go to loosen it or tighten it, the strap tightens as you pull on it. Or what's even easier is one of these oil filter sockets, just like a socket for a bolt or a nut. That's a socket for your oil filter. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this one. I'm just gonna let it drain out a little bit to maybe make less of a mess. Now that the oil has slowed down a little bit, I'm just gonna finish taking this off by hand. There's a few things you need to look for when removing the old oil filter in or putting the new one on. With your old oil filter, you always want to make sure that this rubber gasket comes off with it. There's some times where this rubber gasket will get stuck to where the filter seats, and then you end up with a double gasket, which is really bad. And then another thing I like to do to make sure I have the right oil filter is line up the rubber gasket on my new filter to my old one by flipping them right on top of each other, and we can see that they're the same diameter. Because this Jeep's filter hangs pretty vertical, not sideways, I'm gonna go ahead and pre-fill it up halfway. I only do this when I know I'm not gonna spill oil everywhere. Like if I have an oil filter that's mounted upside down or completely sideways, I don't pre-fill it. Then after you pre-fill it, just take a little bit of the oil, rub it around the O-ring, and you're ready to install. Now we put our new filter in the same way we took it out, being careful not to cross thread it. For these oil filters, you really don't need to have them that tight, so I like to use both hands as tight as I can get by hand with no tools, and that's usually good. That way the next guy doesn't have to stab a screwdriver through to get it off. With everything under the vehicle tightened, now we can move to the engine bay and add 6.6 quarts of new oil. Now we have to find our oil fill, and it is located right next to our oil dipstick, and it tells you which oil you need if you ever forget. The big jug was 5 quarts, and each of these are 1 quart, so I'll do the whole rest of this 1 quart and a little more than half of this 7th quart. So that's 6, and then half of this one to start. That was a little more than half already, so I'm gonna check it before I add any more. We can always add more later. To check the oil properly, what you're gonna wanna do is start the engine for about a minute so that the oil can run everywhere it needs to go up into the head of the motor. And then you shut the vehicle off for about a minute so all the oil can run back down into your drain pan and you can get an accurate reading on your oil dipstick. We can see here that our oil pressure is 56 PSI, which is normal, which is good. So now I'm gonna shut the engine off, wait a minute, and check the oil. It's been a couple minutes since I shut the vehicle off. All the oil should have ran from the top of the engine down to the oil pan. Now we can check our oil dipstick. You always wanna wipe it off first, and then stick it in again to get the most accurate measurement. We can see our oil is on the textured surface, but not above. That means we have just the right amount of oil. That wraps up the oil change on this Jeep. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe, and also check out our website, Salty Gears Off-Road. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next one.